Mr. Jayanthra Jayachandran is a business growth coach, international speaker, and a recognized leader in digital transformation. He is the founder and chief growth coach at Ananta 360 Growth Technologies and the founder CEO of Angler Technologies and Trinetra Wireless.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you for the introduction as well. So Coimbatore is known for many things. The hospitality, entrepreneurship, and of course, unforgettable food. That reminds me of yesterday night. So Arjun, our president, was hosting dinner for the TiE charter members of Coimbatore and others who have come from different cities. So being part of the hosting team, I was asking Mahavir, whom I had met. So Mahavir, are you veg or non-veg? And Mahavir said, purely non-veg. Then I asked Hari Balakrishnan, sir, are you veg or non-veg? And he said, purely vegetarian.
Yes.
And then I had to run home. I have two young daughters, so I had to put them to sleep. So Arjun's wife said, you cannot go without having dessert. Right? You must have dessert, and we had Ranjana's dessert, of course. So the panel is like that today. We have three iconic brands. A vegetarian brand that has evolved across generations, represented by Jegan. A non-veg iconic brand, scaled flavor and trust across regions, represented by Raju. And how ice cream, of all the things, became a symbol of playfulness and brand innovation, of Boomerang, represented by Mr. Vanji. So today's panelist represents three distinct journeys, but they share one powerful thread. They have built the brands deeply rooted in the Coimbatore culture, yet fearlessly rising for their vision, handling things like changing customer mindsets, new technologies like the app-based ecosystem, and the next generation's expectations. We hope to hear from them, their choices, their risks, and the innovation they have taken. It makes these brands not just about sustaining, but about surviving and thriving for the coming generations. So I invite Mr. Jegan, Mr. Vanji, and Mr. Raju to the table, please, to join us. We have an interesting story with Jegan. Like me, he's a mechanical engineer, but also into food technology. So I was just chatting with him, and he was saying that how his experience was when he came back to the family business and wanted to, take it to the next level. So we are talking about 2009 when he was opening his first remodeled restaurant. So would you like to talk about those couple of incidents that we found very insightful?
Yeah. A couple of incidents, yes. When Jayanthra asked me, I was thinking back. It was in 2009. Basically, like he said, I'm a mechanical engineer, so didn't have too much experience in the food industry, actually. And then I went on to do my master's in food technology, and then was working in the US in a different way, in a different capacity, but not exactly in the culinary side. It was a little different. So when I came back into the family business, I had no clue. I had no clue about the restaurant or running a restaurant business or whatever. So it was the first couple of years where we were learning and all that, and we wanted to renovate. We wanted to give a fresh look. The new generations here. We wanted people to know that we were also coming in. So we wanted to do something. And then that's when we renovated our first branch in Lakshmi Complex, and it was the first day of the opening. So the two incidents that really stuck with me. That's why I wanted to say this. One was. The first day of opening, it was probably just a couple of hours into the opening, it was running, and suddenly there was a power failure, because EB had cut the power. There was a very elderly person who called me and he said, "Idhe unga tata irundha nadandirukuma appadinaru." So because my grandfather, he was the founder of the business, and it was a power failure. I mean, nobody could have done anything. I don't think my grandfather could have done anything about it. But then the kind of trust that he had built over the years, the kind of brand that he had built, it was something that was very powerful. In fact, that man, it was 3 years after my grandfather's death, but he did not know. He was a very old gentleman. He said, "Naan poi unga tata paathu solla porenaru." Then I said, no, please, complain la pannadinga. I'll fix it. So the next 5-10 minutes, we got the gen set running and everything. So that was, then it kind of gave me the weight of the legacy that I was carrying. You kind of understand the gravity of what people are expecting from you, and it really weighs down on you sometimes. And then the second incident was the same day in the evening session. I was standing. The whole thing was going on. The restaurant was running. We had a little bit of chaos in the kitchen because it was the first day after renovation and all that. There was a lady who had ordered food, and I think she called me. She was just waiting. She was looking at me, and then she called me and said, "Are you working here?" I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Nah, I ordered dosa about 15-20 minutes back. It's still not come." And then I was dumb enough to say, "Sorry, it's the first day. Just give us a minute. I'll make sure it comes." And she said, "Are you telling me this is the first day of making dosas for Annapoorna?"
It's not very bad.
And I said, no. Are you telling me this is the first time you're learning how to make dosa? I said, no. So he said, see, Annapoorna shouldn't say this is the first day, you know. If anybody else says it's the first day, we'll accept. But if Annapoorna says it's the first day, I won't accept, you know. So it hit me. It hit me so hard. I'll never forget. So even today, every restaurant we open, we do at least a week of trial runs. At least a week, you know. We have our people coming in, our vendors, our contractors, and we spend so much on the trial runs. But I said, it's okay. It's worth it, because I never want somebody else to come and ask me, are you telling me you don't know how to make dosa again? You know, so it was something that hit me very strongly.
Rooted and rising, the importance of carrying forward the legacy built from the past generations to the new generation. That brings me to Haribhavanam, Mr. Raju. I think it's 54-year-old journey, second generation, and original name was Raju's Mess. Now having more than 8 to 9 branches, and very popular for the non-veg cuisine that he serves out of the Kongu region. So in this journey, from changing your brand from Raju's Mess to Haribhavanam, Haribhavanam standalone, one branch, and then expanding it, the rebranding of the new logo, the new interior, how did you maintain the balance between, like he said, the burden of legacy? You know, this is Haribhavanam, it stands for something. Same time you have to adopt the new technology, the new decor, the new generation has to be satisfied. Can you just share a couple of, how did you go through this journey, Mr. Raj?
Of course. Very good morning to one and all here. Very happy to participate in this TiE Summit 2025. As he asked me, the legacy which was built by my father, Mr. S. Raju, he is no more now, but he has taught us so many lessons lively to hold this status now. In every stage of my travel in this business, he didn't actually want me to come inside this business, because he wanted to make me as a professional in some other industry and let this business go with him. I should not continue this, was his idea. But after seeing him struggling in this business, I didn't want to leave this and go outside and do some other thing. I tried inserting me inside this business in spite of so much of problems against him. I came inside. That is when he taught me, if you are liking to do this business, so you should follow certain values that you cannot. Yeah. And I asked him to teach me, and he took that initiative of teaching me the values for doing this business. So from the day one, he never allowed me to sit on the cash table or the billing counter. So he always wants us to be inside the kitchen. So there is no comfort given as a owner or a proprietor. So we used to be there always in the kitchen. And whenever there is a VIP or a celebrity coming inside, normally what people do is they go and welcome them, they be with them, they suggest few foods, they serve themselves and take care of them. But he doesn't do that. Whoever comes to the restaurant, he is always in the kitchen. He takes care of the preparation of the food, and the concentration is only on the quality and the consistency. So after finishing the meal, that celebrity or a VIP will get inside the kitchen, go and see him, and he will thank him and say, we had a very nice food.
Wonderful.
Thank you for the food. And then he leaves the shop. And that is a kick for him. That has become a drug-like thing for him. People coming inside and getting him and going. Instead, he doesn't go to anybody. And also, in choosing the materials for the purchase, he's been a different person totally I have seen so far. So when we go to the market, there is particular category of things which they allocate for the hoteliers. So this is for the hoteliers. So he is totally against that. He chooses the material which he wants. He chooses the number one thing which is not meant for hoteliers those days.
Okay.
So he has meant that the consistency remains only after the quality of the material is the good. So in that means he has thought values in everything, and he didn't want us to measure the food and serve it. From those days, there were limited meals everywhere, but I'm proud to say that we have never served a limited meal so far. It has been more than 53 years we are there in the industry, but we have not even served a limited meal so far. I'm really proud to say that. And now the industry has changed. No one is serving a limited meal. Everyone has come to an unlimited meal because people are not able to consume an unlimited meat.
Thank you. Thank you for Raju for sharing the values of how you have taken it cross generations. I was having a coffee with Mr. Vanji in the morning, and then I was talking to him about how Boomerang was my favorite when I was studying in PhD College of Technology, and we all used to go and have ice cream there. And he shared an interesting thing about how you can also have coffee with ice cream. I was like, please, how can you have coffee with ice cream? It's completely diverse. And he said he had a particular story about a customer. If you can share that, please.
Thank you, TiE, for inviting me. Thank you, Ranjana, for making us zero to hero. Thank you very much. Yeah. See, I didn't have a pressure of Tata or father looking at the business. This was started by me. My father was in a different business. So it all started by going to food fairs. I just wanted to start one ice cream outlet. So in the year 97, we started this business. We didn't know anything about ice creams. So it was going good. At that time, it was just enamel paint and a plastic chair was the kind of ice cream stores that was there. But we did it in a different way, air conditioned with interiors and stuffs like that. So the business was happening. It was going good. Customers were happy. We were just doing a soft serve business, and there is the person in the crowd who is my mentor. He used to come to the outlet and he used to ask what is not available there. So he always wanted ice cream with coffee. So we didn't have coffee at that time. So the moment he comes, we have to go to Annapoorna, buy a cup of coffee, come there, add coffee to his ice cream, then give. So the different customers were there asking us different products. Then we had to travel to Italy, which is the base of ice creams. So me and my wife studied about ice creams. Then we started expanding in the year 2000. Now we have 28 stores, which is running extremely profitable and good. We are happy about this business. Thank you.
So I'll continue the next question with you, Mr. Vanji. I think today we have a generation where we have delivery apps, you have cloud kitchens, then you have the next generation whose expectations about food and having a good time is very, very different from, say, the earlier generations. How is Boomerang handling these changing paradigms while staying true to your roots and to your brand? What kind of innovations you're working on?
Of course, there are pros and cons about the new trends of business that is happening, that too on the platform business, which is really, really challenging for us. And I was also discussing with Dinesh today morning about what the issues that we face. But today we contribute around 28% of our business through platforms, which we are happy. Maybe for us, there is no extra kind of people required to do that. So we are much happier with the platforms that is going, but there are a lot of other things that we have to discuss with them regarding the percentages and stuff like that. Of course, regarding the Gen Z kids, what they expect on the products, it's all like Instagram pictures that they want. But is it eatable or is it good? It is debatable. So we stick to products which are indulged, which is good, and so we don't bother much about the local trends that is happening. We stick to what our customer needs are and what their preferences are. So it's good going forward with the new kind of platform businesses and stuffs. It's, of course, there are a lot of cloud kitchens that are opening. There is a real competition in the business.
All right, it's here to stay and we need to face it. That's the message I'm getting. So coming to Mr. Raju, I think considering that you're moving from, the father's generation to the current generation and Hari Bhavanam is also expanding, what is one key leadership decision that you've taken as the second generation person that has really helped the brand to grow? If you can talk about that choice and risk and how you decided to take the decision, I think that will help a lot of us.
I think the biggest quality that a businessman should have is the courage to take a decision immediately. The moment you slow down to take a decision, there are a lot of things happening across to disturb your decisions. So we have never delayed anything to take a decision because I am the only person, when I am the second generation entrepreneur, My father was the only person when he was. And now my children are going to come inside, so they are going to be the decision makers. I'm going to hand over it to them. So decision making is not at all a problem for us at any instance. And regarding the branding, you told me, so at one point of time we wanted to brand ourselves because we never named our concern. The name Haribhavanam was given by the Lord to us because it was a place where my father got his first employment as a room boy in that mansion. The name of the mansion was Haribhavanam. So we never named our concern. This was a name given by him. So it doesn't suit the non-veg industry also. The name Haribhavanam looks like a vegetarian hotel. But that is because it was not chosen by us. And we wanted to brand it because we are operating in the malls and all. See, all the multi-brand, international brands are there. In between them, we are having our kiosks. So we wanted to brand it equally to them. So we started branding and we wanted to have a value for the branding. We wanted to have the meaning for branding. So that is why we Haribhavanam, we branded it in a black and we had 4 colors of all the spices. So the colors we have used in our branding is all the colors of the spices, colors of chilies, colors of capsicums. So it adds some meaning. So normally a spoon and a fork represents a restaurant. So we have added a fork representing it as a non-veg restaurant and a audience symbol to say that it is served with love since 1971. We are almost 54 years now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So taking no decision is the worst decision is one key takeaway. But let's assume that some of us as founders have co-founders. Maybe we are multi-generational like Jegan. So same question to you, Jegan. What is the one decision that you took that really transformed the journey of Annapoorna? But then that decision also needs to be convinced with other stakeholders. Could be family, could be partners. So if you can walk us through that pivotal moment.
I think I always say this. I don't think I've really convinced my family still, because too many people involved in it. See, what happens is, I think what we realize, especially as a third generation, when you have a successfully running business, is you start stagnating at some point. Okay, I think probably one of the biggest decisions or biggest challenges that I had was educating my family as well as my employees that sometimes we need to change. Some teams we need to evolve with times. It can be anything. See, innovation can come in so many different facets of the business. It's just not, if I have say 200 products on the menu, if I add another 50 products, that's necessarily not innovation. Innovation can be on the process side. Innovation can be on the management side, and how we treat our employees. Innovation on how what kind of facilities we give our employees. It can be everything. So. The fact that we had to give the change, make them understand that change is what is going to drive us into the next 50, 100 years of business. Probably that was the biggest lesson I had to give, or I had to first understand and then kind of share it with everybody. Because that is a tougher decision or a tougher lesson when you have a very successful running business.
Right.
Wanting to, kind of change and improve and keep improving for somebody who's doing well is very difficult, because you've done everything, you're making money and then your brand is good, you have good patronage from the customers, and then suddenly you start stagnating, so that was probably my biggest thing, change and always change will always be there, and then we have to evolve with times. That was the biggest thing.
Thank you. And talking about one particular change, yes. The style of Annapoorna, the food spread that you provide, the dosas that you talked about, versus something which is very different, like Cove that you've introduced in fine dining, truffle oil. It's a very, I would say, diverse shift from what Annapoorna is known for. So what is the thinking behind this, and how was it, readiness to take that risk and try something that also vegetarian in fine dining? Yes. So could you talk about that journey a little bit, please?
Well, I see the Cove had a lot of thought process. One is, see, whenever we meet with people, we have a lot of regular customers. Annapoorna is a very, customers have a very strong connect with the brand. So whenever, I talk to customers, they visit other vegetarian restaurants in the city and all that. Something new. They always have that. For me, comfort food, or what I define as comfort food, is a food that you can eat at least 3 to 4 times a week without getting bored. Okay? So that is typically what you've grown up with. If it's North Indian, then it's probably rotis or sabjis or whatever. If it's South Indian, it's idli, dosas, and your rice, whatever. So if you're in the comfort food business, staying rooted to what has worked for you is very important. Okay, but at the same time, innovation, you want to innovate, you try something new, you want to show that yes, there is capability, but we want to keep this separate, we want to keep that separate, So Co was born out of that. We wanted to, at some point, even, my family members were like, we should do a fine dine, And then the first thought was take this idli dosa, put it in a better serving dish, give it in ceramic plates, and then white tablecloth service, and then it becomes fine dine. I said, if we're going to do fine dine, let's go all out. There is no pulling, we're not going to stop anywhere. So that's when we decided, let's do, we wanted to, originally we thought we should do a non-vegetarian. I'm a strong non-vegetarian. I eat at Haribonam quite frequently, but then our business was vegetarian. So we wanted to, one of the biggest deterrents of somebody like a non-vegetarian when we go out is the vegetarian food doesn't taste like non-vegetarian food, we miss the non-vegetarian. So we wanted to make sure we could bring out everything in vegetarian which tasted really awesome or even better, and all the flavors from across the world where we could bring it in, and also kind of stay true to that. We don't serve idli or dosa and Co.
Right.
As a policy, I decided that's going to be Annapoorna's forte. We are not going to get into that. Co will be something always, it'll stand something differently. So that will be something where the menu keeps evolving. So we change our menu once in 2 years. I mean, we do almost 60-70% revision on a menu. So we are on the second revision. So third revision work is going on. Probably another 4 or 5 months we'll revise the menu again.
So that's product differentiation and brand is also kept separate.
Yes,
right.
because we wanted to, this is comfort food. This will always stay true to our roots. We will try to, because here we are looking at completely different ways of innovation. Here we are innovating on the process side. We are seeing how we can, sustainable, how we can bring down the manpower and still have the same level of service and all that. So different innovation here, different innovation there.
Got
but
it.
Yes.
Thank you. So talking about product innovation to Mr. Vanji, today's, as a layman outside the food industry, as a consumer of food industry, if we see dessert, for me it's so much of confusion from an outsider. There's gelato, there's frozen yogurt, there's soft serve, there's traditional Indian kulfis. How do you technically position Boomerang's offerings in this? From me, it looks like a crowded place, but I'm sure, with 27 stores, it is not a crowded place for you. Can you give us your insight? How do you differentiate technically and as a brand?
See, whatever you mentioned is all the desserts. It's all how we make it.
Okay.
Of course, you need to keep innovating. You need to upgrade your knowledge. For instance, today, Dubai chocolate is trending, so you need to do Dubai chocolate.
Okay.
Last year, it was red velvet or lotus biscoff. So you have to keep inventing, but it is not going to stay there forever. Okay. It is going to be changing. So you need to keep innovating and see that it gives the customer a good experience of having it with the indulgence. That is what is more important. I want to see every customer's face happy when they have an ice cream. I don't want somebody to leave something in the bowl and get away from the outlet. So I go to ask them what is the problem in that. So we keep innovating, we keep upgrading. That is how it is dealt with. So innovation is a must in this industry. Keep your knowledge mind open. See what is happening around, what is trending. You have to be with the trends, otherwise you'll be lost.
So what I'm hearing from them is, it is not just the technology industry that has to keep changing with AI. It is also the food industry that has to keep changing with the people's tastes. So we have around 4 minutes left. So if anybody in the audience has a question, maybe we can take 1 or 2 questions, because I'm sure you have the Coimbatore heroes here from the food scene. So if you want to pick their brains, this is the right time. Okay? So if you want to, yes, I think, can we have a mic to the lady over there? Otherwise, speak and I'll repeat your question. Yes.
Hi, Val. Well, because there's so much organized something like this that come out with the camera.
Welcome.
My question is, I'm someone who finds food to be my bread partner, but I...
Well. You meant idli and dosa, I guess, right? Not bread and butter. Just saying, to be true to the scene here. Yeah, okay.
There's anything and everything that I can be doing. My question is, if I got another creative marketing agency as well, it's to either of you. Anyone can pick up your president, generational or as the founder. And at any point, like you guys mentioned, we have to evolve, bringing changes. But let's say there's a question that ongoing if you bring your expertise from outside. And then you want to bring the change. And you also want to retain people who you had for the longest time, working with you from the incubation of the business. There will be some kind of resistance that happens.
Sure.
And every side of business. How do you tackle that question?
Thank you. I got the question. What's your name? Anjana from Kerala, thank you for coming. And I'll repeat the question for the audience. I'm not sure everybody heard it. She says, like, when the owner, founder wants to change and he brings in a third party to help in the change, like a strategist, a brand consultant, or a consultant for that matter, there will be loyalists who've been with you for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, who may not be open to the change. How do you take these two things together along? Anybody of the three of you would like to answer that?
If I'll just start because
Okay.
Your name is
Anjana.
Anjana. I don't know if it's just the strategist and the consultants. As a third generation, for me to get accepted, it took longer. I was the change that they didn't expect. Shakir, for them, who's this fellow? Suddenly, we've seen his grandfather, we've seen his father. Suddenly, this fellow comes in and tells, no, I have to weigh this pongal. I have to weigh this sambar. You know, there was once a huge issue when my grandfather's brother was there, when I just come into the business. So we wanted to weigh everything out and send it out. And suddenly, so that day, the food went out late. Okay, it was all intentional. The whole thing was, and I come to the office, my grandfather, he's fuming. You know, my grandfather's second brother, he was ready to chop off my head. He said, everything went late today because you told them to wait. What are you selling, gold? You know, that's exactly his question. You know, see, the truth is, change management in any business is a challenge. It's not just food business. I think any management, technology, wherever you imagine for us in a technology world, you know, you're working on a completely new platform suddenly, and the next day you're working on something else. Right. So the change management, I think, is a top-down approach, according to me. Sometimes we have to at the top first align that yes, change is required, and you know, realize yes, there has to be change. This is how the world is, and we're going to change. And once we are aligned, then it's slow. You have to handhold. It cannot be pushed down. It cannot be thrust down their throats and say this is what is going to happen. No, you know, especially with older employees, it's very sensitive. You know, you kind of have to get their buy-in. Make them realize what is the advantage of having this change, how sustaining, how growing is going to help them grow with the company. So that makes a big difference, you know. Sorry.
Yeah, Vanji and then Raju.
As a founder, the change was happening once in 10 years earlier. Then it became now 1 year. Now every day there is a change. I couldn't adopt. So I thought my next generation should take up the business to understand this change, because I'm an old man, so I really don't understand what is happening today.
So I think the message is for Tarun, I guess. Yeah, Mr. Raju, would you like to add something?
Yeah, as they both said, everyone wants change in everything. Even we need a change, my wife needs a change, my daughter needs a change, but these trends are not standing forever. Whatever is there is for a week or 10 days time. Depending on that, we cannot make a change. And forcibly, if you do some changes, it creates a lot of impact inside your organization. So taking up together with them and making them understand and asking them the idea and asking them to do the answer will be better, I think. So instead, we going and forcibly saying that, we can get the suggestion from them as well and do it.
Great.
That should be great.
Thank you. So we talked about unlimited meals. Unfortunately, here we don't have unlimited time. You have unlimited knowledge through the day, but it brings us to the end of this first panel discussion. And the closing, I just want to say that thank you all of you for joining us in celebrating not just those who nourish our city's appetite, but its spirit also. I think we heard from Jegan. I'm sorry, sir, you run out of time, so you can always catch them offline. Sorry about that, because we have so many wonderful speakers here. We want to give them all a time to engage. So if you're rooted in your values and rising with your vision, you're not just serving food, but you're building legacy. So thank you, Jegan, Vanji, and Raju, for being true to the rooted and rising heroes of Coimbatore. Coimbatore heroes don't remind us just about food. And you don't have to choose between tradition and innovation. You just have to tastefully blend and serve them. That's my takeaway. And request all of you to stay back and enjoy the rest of the session with the other panels that is coming in. Over to you, Pradeep.
Thank you so much, Jayanthra. When you hear the stories of your own city, it's lovely. Can I request the panelists and the speakers to stay here? May I request Ms. Sheenu Jawar, the president of TiE Rajasthan, to kindly hand over a small token of her love to these gentlemen on the stage. For all our guests from outside Coimbatore, this is inspiration for you to go try out Annapoorna, to try out Boomerang, the ice creams, and to try out Haribhavan, the non-veg place. As we get over with this shower of love, it's time for all us to go, wow. I'm sure whenever you step into a new airport, whenever you step into a new city, you cannot but see this word wow plastered at many, many different places.